Hey there everyone, welcome to the first installment of 4-episode opinions. And here telling by the audio, I kind of changed out the audio filters just to experiment which one sounds a bit better, but not the point of talking about cameras here. I'm here to talk about the first 4 episodes of the Showtime original I'm Dying Up Here, which so far this show has been pretty funny. I love what happened so far in the first 4 episodes of this new original. First off, if you don't know already, this is a brand new Showtime original based on the best-selling book of the same name by William K. I say K because I don't want to mess the name up, like I always do at times. But anywho, this is a brand new series which is executively produced by Jim Carrey. And I knew about this through an ad for one of the TV shows I watch. And I decided to give it a try. And so far, this is a pretty funny series. And it actually has a lot of sense and atmosphere drawn into it. Basically, in the 1970s, or more precise 1973, it follows up stand-up comedians at a golden club. The show takes place around the 70s, more precisely 1973, as it follows a lot of up-and-coming comedic stand-ups. And they're performing at this place called Goldie's, which is their way of shining off and showing their talent as comedians, to hopefully premiere on a network show to perform their stand-up. This show has a lot of great cast in it, and it mostly deals with the in-between time of these comedians. Like, how are they gonna work up on stage? Will they be famous? Is their area good, or will they fail in the end? This is where everything gets very interesting with the series. Now, I love this show. This is obviously one of my few favorites. And with something about stand-up comedy, which somewhat I've never gotten around to hearing it, especially since I've got some 33 of Richard Pryor stand-up. I never really got around to listening to it, mostly because I never understood stand-up. But if I'm used to stuff like Jeff Dunham, who does stand-up with ventriloquist dummies, one of which being a dead terrorist, then obviously I could get interested in this. And here I am. There's a lot to go into, and it's another one of those shows you have to wrap your mind around. Kinda like Ray Donovan or Billions or whatever. I wouldn't say it's like Dexter or whatever. I mean, Dexter's pretty simple. He is an undercover murderer, but he lives his life as a blood splatter analysis. Ray Donovan deals with the current issues that he's got going on, having to deal with everybody who has these tiny little problems, and he's just there trying to deal with it. I mean, obviously, as you've seen from my Ray Donovan Season 4 stuff, you know I love the show and its atmosphere and characters. I'm Dying Up Here. It has a good cast, like Melissa Rio, who owns the club called Goldie's, and there's actually, surprisingly, Clark Duke, who's been in 2 movies I'm familiar with, Kick-Ass and Hot Tub Time Machine, which, bizarre is Hot Tub Time Machine, but I liked him in Kick-Ass. But it also has a lot of interesting guests that have appeared on the show. There is Dylan Baker as Johnny Carson, and yes, they have to use somewhat of that thing that Robert Zemeckis uses in his films. And it may happen in others where it shows, like, splicing in old-timey footage, but also trying to make it look like the new actors are in that scenario. It's seen in Zemeckis' movies, it's seen in Spielberg's film Catch Me If You Can. It's an interesting thing they do in the movie industry, but also surprising they do this in the original. There's a lot of stuff to go into, but I'm not going to bore you with the details of it. So, interesting. First 4 episodes, what do I think about them? The pilot starts off pretty strong. We have ourselves the setup for the scenario. There's a black guy who appears there, and he wants to, you know, try to get on the best side of Goldie. But then we also got 2 buddies who've moved from the East Coast to the West, and they want to try to get their hands at stand-up. And in one of the episodes, they wind up going on to Let's Make a Deal, which, if you don't know that show, it's basically, I mean, if you watch it on CBS, the show is basically, you appear on there dressed up in costumes, doesn't matter what costume it is, just as long as it's appropriate, and basically, it's kind of like a bit like Price is Right. You wind up in costumes and you stay up on stage talking, like trying to make good prices and good deals, and try to win stuff. And in one of the funniest scenarios, they wind up getting a donkey or whatever as one of their prizes, but in the end, they wind up winning a year's supply of rice-a-roni. That one is pretty funny, the one where they get rice-a-roni. One of the most shocking ones is from the 3rd episode, where the female stand-up is talking about something very serious and grim and dark that it's not common in stand-up. But the host of the 3rd one, and it's ridiculous, is a guy who has this ventriloquist dummy. Like, he's obsessed with this little guy. It's like, wherever he goes, whether he goes to the bathroom or not, that stand-up dummy goes with him. And in the 3rd episode, the guys just get angered with this thing and just hide it somewhere where the guy can't find it, as the 3 of them appear up on stage and obviously make the audience laugh. It's stuff like this that really makes me appreciate the originals. And it also makes me think that Showtime, while despite not having Paramount, MGM, and Lionsgate on their channel anymore, they definitely do have that heart and sense to create, like, really good originals. I mean, they're up there with HBO, I mean, far from it, but close enough to HBO, where they still can produce a lot of great originals. But if anything, HBO's got a lot of the great originals. I mean, in last year, there's obviously Westworld, which is very impressive, and I really like the sense and atmosphere of Westworld. But I'll talk to that about sometime later. Honestly, Showtime has got a lot of great originals. I mean, there's Dexter up until Season 4, because the rest of it's just garbage. Ray Donovan, you know I really love. Billions, I still need to restart on that and see whether or not I would want to continue on it. But I'm Dying Up Here, I'd most definitely watch whenever I have the chance to. It's great, it's fantastic, it's funny, it's something I really, really like. And I'd say that I'm Dying Up Here is worth continuing. And I will watch the series all the way through, depending on whether the episodes are good or bad. I won't do episode vlogs like Ray Donovan, but I will still watch them either way. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of many 4-episode opinions. Alright, so, with the brand new Showtime original, I'm Dying Up Here, what do you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, comment below and let me know. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, wait until the end slate to subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys this Friday for the return of Trailer Talk. Which, if you looked at the end of the Con vlogs, that Cambot basically said that obviously we got the return of Movie Fridays, but also 2 new series which will come out from time to time, 4-episode opinions and Trailer Talk. So see you guys Friday as I talk about the trailer for the My Little Pony movie. Finally. But see you guys in the future for all new videos.